There's always a party. Let's go, Paul. Paul was doing like the Karate Kid, but like as he was doing the Karate Kid, his chair was squeaking.
Yeah, what's up, baby?
And it made me laugh.
Welcome to Life's Party Podcast. You know?
We're alive.
We're alive. We're doing well. Hopefully, everyone's week doing good. You're partying, having a good time, and just not taking any moment for granted. You know, living your best life, and that's what we want to do here.
I'm surprised I made it back alive this weekend.
Yeah,
we both had some busy weekends.
Busy week. That's what we do, right? Life's a party. You enjoy your weekend. You work during the week. You work hard, play hard, and that's what we did. So, what was your weekend like? That's what we're getting into.
I went to Madison Square Garden for the first time, Paul.
MSG. That's nice.
MSG, first time there. It was UFC 268. It was not a cheap visit, I will say. But in my eyes, I've never been to Madison Square Garden. I've never seen UFC fights. It was historically one of the best UFC cards to the date. So I was like, you know what? It's worth the money. Hash it out. Like you always say, the money is worth the experience.
Exactly. I'd rather spend my money on events and good times and tickets and that kind of thing, because there was a really famous quote by Denzel Washington.
Look at you.
You ever heard this? So he was like, I've never seen a U-Haul after a hearse.
I've never seen a U-Haul after a hearse.
Right? Because when you're dead, you can't take your shit with you.
Exactly. Everybody else gets your shit.
Yeah, everyone
it's like
else.
You die and everybody else gets your money.
Exactly.
So fuck that. I'm going down with zero in my bank account.
Yeah, that's the way to live your life, man. So at the end of the day, like, you know, it's not about your your physical items, the things you own, how expensive that stuff is. Like, your life is just as good as like your experiences and what you do with your time, other than like material items. So, you know, I'm a big advocate for spending your money on tickets and good things. You sound very passionate
about that. So I want to touch on a few things about my trip, about my UFC Madison Square Garden trip. Paul had an eventful weekend as well. He went to a wedding, which we'll get to after my breakdown of Madison Square Garden. But first things first, the usual shit happened to me for this trip. I got. Like that saying, I got.
That was New York City, right?
I'm not very good at buying shit online.
Okay.
And it was so the fights go till 2 a.m., like 2 a.m., 1 a.m. Me and my girlfriend, we went to go see UFC, but we didn't want to go take the Penn Station at 2 in the morning. Yes. I mean, for obvious reasons. So I booked a hotel room.
In New York City.
But I used Google. So I said, we didn't have a car, so I said any hotel rooms near Madison Square Garden, like walking distance. But I went on Google. I didn't go directly to a specific hotel. So I go to Google and it's like all these listings, and I take the cheapest one, has reviews, everything there. I buy it. I print out the paperwork. So I print out my form, my booking number, everything. My girlfriend looks at the paperwork 2 days before or a day before we leave. She goes, I have to come over to your house. I was like, why do you have to come over to my house? She's like, I think we got scammed. So it turned out that I bought the hotel room on Google. It was $305 for one night.
Yeah.
And it was a scam.
So you had no hotel room.
We called the hotel. Like I thought I was booking through something through like Expedia.
Yeah.
Or like one of those one of those things.
Yeah.
I didn't. I was scammed. We called a hotel. Hey, do you have a booking under my name? Nope. I got scammed. I had to call my bank, cancel my card. I got.
So what happened to the $300?
It was weird because they emailed me. I guess they got ahead of it because they knew that I contacted my bank. So instead of like them getting in trouble, they shut it down before the bank got to them, if that makes sense. So they're smart. They had reviews and everything. So I got. But to the event, Paul, this was by far the best event I've ever attended.
Okay, why?
It was by far the best event I ever attended, and I believe it will be the best sporting event I attended in the future. Like, I don't think anything's ever gonna top. Like, Paul, I'm telling you, this experience was insane. So it has a weird dynamic to it.
Okay.
Right? Because UFC is you're literally two guys fighting in the middle of a ring in front of a crowd of 30,000 people. You all right over there?
Yeah, sorry.
Just like it's almost like a coliseum.
Okay.
Like seeing guys throw punches at each other in real life and watching guys get knocked out in real life made me feel like ways that like I can't express.
It's
like
just a whole different experience.
It's a different experience. Like seeing guys get knocked out in person is the weirdest thing ever.
Now that's I know it's a little different, but like when I go see live theater, right? Like, I mean, that's a good example between the two of us. But like when I go see live theater, I don't it just doesn't compare anything to me. Like nothing else compares it. Like people try to explain, oh, like why do you love theater? Like what's so great about theater? And it's really hard to explain unless you're in the seat watching, right? It's just like something that I cannot be matched, cannot be duplicated. Like the emotions and the feelings that you feel and see and like everything that's going on while you're in the seat is unmatched. And I could feel that idea of like,
because grown-ass men are just throwing punches at their face, knocking them out. I was standing up screaming. I had to like sit down because I was like overwhelmed. And I'm like, what is going on? Like I have to sit down for a second. It was truly an insane environment. The card was spectacular.
So how long were you there for?
That's the problem. So there was 13 fights.
Yeah.
And the first prelim started at 5:30 p.m.
Were you there at 5:30?
We got there for the first because we were betting on the fights and
you want to make sure you're there.
So we were there and we were there from 5:30 p.m. to 2 a.m. So we're in a single seat in Madison Square Garden.
That's a long time.
That's a long. That's the only negative is we were in there for 8 hours. So we would have to get up and walk around. But at the same time, Madison Square Garden's an old arena. You don't have like Citizens Bank Park where you have like bars or anything like that.
Okay, that's interesting. There's
also,
no like.
I was drinking. They didn't accept any cash at Madison Square Garden.
That's a very new thing. I mean, I work at MetLife Stadium.
They only accept
MetLife and I don't know if Prudential is anymore, but I know MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, where the Jets and the Giants play, they're a cashless stadium. So
is that new? Is it new?
I think it's new because of COVID. I think like people they're all cashless. But what's interesting, even like Six Flags, we talk about Six Flags, that when you go to Six Flags now, that they're cashless as well, and they have what's called a reverse ATM machine. So if you have cash, you can't go to the counter and pay for cash, but you can go to the reverse ATM machine. You put in the $10, $20, however much you want to buy, and they'll spit out a Visa gift card.
Yep, that's what happened. I went to the bar, or like the bar top, and I was like, "Can I get 2 Stellas?" And he's like, "I got cash." And he's like, "Oh, we don't take cash." And I was like, "Damn, I didn't have a debit card because my debit card was canceled because I got scammed over the weekend."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, damn." He's like, "Oh, but we actually have this machine." And you put your cash in, and it spits out a Visa gift card that you can use. Yeah. And I was like, what? I told the guy, I was like, what the? I've never seen that before in my life. He's like, yeah, it's brand new. Came in yesterday. I was like, what the fuck?
Honestly, I don't see the point. Why? It seems like more work than it needs to be.
It was very inconvenient, very expensive trip. They were giving out waters in like souvenir cups, filling it 3/4 of the way, $6.
Yeah.
For water.
That's stadium.
He's like, that's New York City for you. That's the guy who gave it to you. I was like, are you kidding me, dude? 2 other things is that Madison Square Garden, our section just straight up complete marijuana. I guess you're allowed to smoke in Madison Square Garden now.
It's been like that for a while. I went to a Pink concert back in 2019. Just nothing but the central.
That's wild.
Straight marijuana.
That's Six Flags. Speaking of Six Flags, dude,
I think it's legal in New York. Smoking. I think weed's illegal.
It is to an extent. No, it is.
So like people, and the security was not that tight once you got in. So people are pulling out joints in their socks, and it's like, it's not my thing. I didn't want to smell it the whole time. And the last thing is I was surprised to see that there wasn't a lot of homeless people in New York. I don't know where they, like usually every couple blocks they'd be like, hey, can I get $1?
Yeah.
I think I saw 2 homeless people.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're migrating as a unit. I don't know if if COVID's taking them out. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know where the homeless people are.
It is probably a combination of those things. Being sick, obviously the homeless, where you can't be in, you can't like. I don't even imagine that kind. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, honestly.
I was walking, I was like, "Where the hell?"
But hopefully, they did better. They're getting homes and they're off the street. That's what we want. That's the ideal thing. Hopefully, no people homeless in New York City.
That was my trip. Good trip, though.
Wait, so I got a question here. Did you stay at a hotel? Did you buy another hotel?
Yeah, my girlfriend. She said you are no longer allowed to book anything for any future trips. I am in charge. We booked the Hilton. It was really close. It was really convenient. I mean, taking the train, we take the train in from Hamilton Station to New York City. It's really an easy commute. Like if you understand your train times and you get there on time, you get a ride.
Simple.
Super easy to get into New York City. But we did end up booking a Hilton. It was $320. My girlfriend was like, we're spending the extra $20 to book through the hotel.
Yes.
I was like, you know what? I already got defeated. I took the L. You're right. Yeah. So I'm no longer in charge of buying tickets, making plans. That is in my girlfriend's hands moving forward. Scammers are legit. They literally sent me a customer service email like, hey, we saw there was someone got flagged for fraud.
No, yeah.
Because there was reviews about, because after we saw that it's called Travel Euro or something, we looked up Travel Euro. Is it a scam? It's like, yeah. So all these people are commenting like they got too, but they would show up in New York City with their luggage.
Dude, yeah,
go
that's
to the hotel.
worst.
And they're not checked in. Now they have luggage. They don't have a hotel room. Luckily enough, I caught it before we got into the city.
Yeah, that would have been a pain in the
But
ass.
there's a bunch of reviews that's like, we got scammed and we got stuck with our luggage in New York City. We had to find a hotel room. So luckily we got, but we got and we realized we got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. At least you had all mattered. You had a good time.
Good
You
time.
found
One of the
out.
best sporting events I've ever been to. Weird feeling to watch people get punched in the face in person. People get knocked out. It was weird feeling. I had to go on a walk a few times because I felt a little like anxious.
I'm hopefully going to Madison Square Garden soon, within the next couple weeks.
One last thing on this. Madison Square Garden, I'm surprised. I thought it was a large venue.
No.
It's like 20-some thousand people.
It's like Wells Fargo Center here in Philly.
It's less than Wells Fargo. I thought it was like there's like skyscraper seats, nosebleed seats. And I think like almost every seat in the house is a good seat to go see something. But
That's good.
it's a good time. So you haven't been to Madison Square Garden? Good to go.
I haven't. I am trying to go to a Knicks game.
Nice.
So I have two buddies up in North Jersey who are like huge Knicks fans. And they like they were talking about going to a game, and they were like, "Would you be interested?" I was like, honestly, I would love to go to Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, just to be there.
Because I don't know if we've said it on the show, but when Ryan and I have been into the city on our way home, we've like if you know like Penn Central Station, so how you get into the city is you take that train, and the train station is literally under the arena.
You literally go up the stairs and turn around. It's right there, Madison Square
It's
Garden.
really interesting, like train station and then Madison Square Garden's on top. And the thing is, like, to go back home, we have to go, past Madison Square Garden. And, when we go, like, there's just scalpers there. They're like, hey, you want to go to the Rangers tickets? And I remember the last time we went where it was just a super long day for us. But I remember looking at Ryan. I was like, would you want to go to the Rangers game? Like, we can go to the Rangers game, like, right now. It's like the Rangers started at, like, 7 o'clock. It was, like, 6:55. I was like, do you want to buy them? And we're like, nah, we'll go home. But
I'd love to go to a Rangers game.
yeah, no, dude.
It's just one of those unique stadiums where it's in the middle of a city. I know Wrigley Field's like that too in Chicago, where you're just walking the town or a city of Chicago, and Wrigley Field, it's weird. It's just the middle of
That's
it's a baseball
wild.
stadium in the middle of the city.
Yeah,
and this
that's
is just
weird.
a basketball or like one of the most famous arenas in the middle of New York City. So it is a unique. I was excited to go there for the first time. Excited to see my first UFC fights. Hopefully, if they have it again, I said I want like my friends to go and enjoy it.
That'd be
again.
dope.
So
Yeah.
maybe that's something we look forward to in the future.
There you
But
go.
don't get got. Travel Euro.
Just
Taking my money.
Don't be Ryan. I just booked through the hotel. I mean, I feel like that's a soup.
I thought I got a good
thing.
deal. I mean, we've been through this where I bought Ray-Bans. I bought 3 Ray-Bans for $40 on Twitter
Why would you ever think that's okay?
because it was a spam tweet. But the spam tweet came from a girl that was very reliable, good student in high school, nothing really bad to say, very quiet, and the tweet came from her. And it looked real, and I was like, man, she got these glasses for $40.
You've never seen any of your friends or heard that their accounts have been hacked?
But
Or like when they send that like the spam. Like,
I thought
hey.
she was a reliable source.
Okay.
I actually bought them. $40. I got them in the package.
Were they like Wish?
They were identical to Ray-Bans, but they just felt so fake.
Okay.
Never worn them, but if I were to bring them in, I don't know if you'd be able to tell the difference.
Okay.
So maybe I'm onto something. So you were at another wedding. Did you get married?
I did not. No.
You didn't get married.
I did not. No, I did not yet. No. But I went to a wedding, and I wanted to talk about this wedding because it was super.
Was this last minute? I don't remember you talking about being a planned wedding.
It wasn't last minute. No, I've known about it for like.
Did I just not get invited and you didn't want to tell me?
No, you're definitely not invited. No.
You had Madison Square Garden to go to.
Right. I was
But
getting high.
This was a wedding on Sunday, and with COVID and stuff, all these basically what was happening was we were having 2 wedding seasons all in one year,
Right.
where all the weddings got pushed back, so like the dates were very hard. So I knew people this year were getting married on Thursday, people getting married on Sundays, like just trying to figure out like when they can book the venue.
That's like the movie 27 Dresses. You ever see that movie?
No.
You've never seen 27 Dresses? Oh, producer Drew's never seen 27 Dresses.
No, you think he's seen them?
It's this reporter who covers, I think she's a reporter, but she goes to a bunch of weddings, and she goes like all these different cultural weddings, and she changes like wedding dresses, bridesmaids dresses in the cab to one wedding to another. So she does like 5 weddings in a
that's
night.
wild.
You got to watch 27 Dresses. Everybody I bet you who's watching this, they know 27 Dresses. Classic movie.
Well, I went to the wedding on Sunday, and it was just one of the most upscale weddings that I'll probably ever be invited to. And I was invited because my girlfriend, it was her best friend's sister. So I knew the family a little bit. Last couple of years, they're the big house we always talk about. Where if I go down to Tom's River,
so they're loaded.
they have some good money.
They're loaded.
But what about them though? What I really like about their story is both the father and the mother make very good wages, but like they both came from very little. Like
Right.
they worked their way up. Like they were very hard workers, and like the dad works in construction. His whole construction company, like from nothing. So yeah, they're well off. But
That's
at the
also
same
how
time,
I want to
like,
live my life.
Yeah, but
I don't
that-
want to be handed money. My girlfriend said you wouldn't want to win the lottery. I was like, maybe I would want to win the. I think we talk about it. Where I would want to win the lottery, but I want to take that money and go use it to make like an impact
Correct.
somewhere. Like
You
I
wouldn't
want to make my money. I don't want people to give me money.
Agreed. So we went to this wedding, and it was just insane venue, insane hotel. Centerpieces were like 6 feet tall.
Were they like
flowers.
ice sculptures?
There was ice luges. You know,
we go.
I love a good ice luge.
Were people like chugging off of it?
No, well they did a weird, martinis. So they did a. It was
They
a
got the olives. I don't fuck with the olives.
They didn't have the olives. No, so
No
this
olives.
this was a martini.
Olive-free.
Yeah, this was good. So this was a martini bar, and it was an ice luge, and it was basically they had like 6 martinis there, and they showed you they're all different names. I tried 3 of them, and they all different flavors and stuff. And the ice luge was like this big, big ice luge, and then in each corner was the different alcohols they would store to keep cold.
Right.
So super cool. And then you just tell them, what to make. They'd make it, shake it up, and then they would pour it through the ice luge, and you would put your martini glass underneath.
So it's almost like a water slide.
Agreed.
You got
yeah.
the first wave, the second wave, the third one.
So it was just awesome. That was really cool. Cocktail hour.
So the ice luge, you put your mouth there and it goes in your mouth. So you're chugging martinis?
No, normally, but this was different. Like
it's in your glass.
You put your glass on the
See,
ice.
This wedding's way too classy for
Yes.
me. I'd be under there chugging martinis out of the ice luge.
But they had, their cocktail hour was insane. They had what's called a raw bar. So it was like a cocktail hour, but it was a bunch of seafood.
Right.
So super expensive, crazy. Just the
Raw
venue was
bar?
gorgeous. They had I was calling it like a den, where one of the spots, super dark area, leather couches, the tile floor was black and white checkered pattern. It looked like you were in a detective movie, like in a mansion with these huge bookcases. Just gorgeous, gorgeous venue. When they did their first dance at the end, they did like a kiss. They had like sparklers on the ground.
That's safe.
And then they were letting them
They had
off.
fireworks in the venue.
Dude, I wasn't paying attention that they were there. So then when they were dancing, they were just lighting them off. And throughout the whole course of the night, when we're like dancing, going hardcore, they would just light off these fireworks in the building. It was just a good time. It was like, wow, what the hell?
Nice.
But
did she say yes? Like they got married?
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean,
Nice.
if you pay that much and you're ready to go,
See, that wedding would be too classy for me. I just feel like I wouldn't fit in.
I feel. I mean, even me, I was like, wow, like this is
Like the food would be like really sophisticated, like how you eat it, like dap your napkin. But you guys got chicken nuggets and Bud Light here.
Facts.
Is that on the menu?
It was just a good time though. Sunday, I ended up going to. What's
They have a
crazy
live
is-
band.
No, they had a DJ.
Nice.
But they, what'd you say?
Cheap.
No, this one. Let me tell you. But
Did you get a gift?
Yeah, we bought. So because they've been living together for a while.
Dunkin' gift card.
When they've been living together for a while, so they didn't really want like things to like that you would normally buy for wedding gifts to like help them in their house. So all their wedding gifts they're doing a 2-week honeymoon.
Nice.
To St. Lucia. So like you could buy them like drinks and meals and excursions and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, you said
which was
that.
dope. And then
You said
as
that's
I said,
one of your preferable things. Like for people like when you have your wedding, you want people to contribute to that pot so that you can take the money and go do an experience with
yeah,
it.
because
Right?
I don't want you buying me like a microwave
a
or
Keurig.
like a vacuum. Like every time my house is dirty, I'm like, oh, I'm thinking of Ryan as I'm vacuuming. Like, it doesn't really matter to me. I'd rather take that and spend it on a nice honeymoon. I mean, a lot of people say this is a huge thing now where, if your wedding's $40,000, I'd like imagine instead of taking that $40,000 and having to pay for 100 people's meals, why don't we take that $40,000 and do like a 2-week hella vacation honeymoon? Like, how amazing.
Wait, with the guests?
No. So you and the person you love, obviously. I'm not taking no 100 guests, but
You wouldn't even take him?
Maybe he can
Person you love?
But this
Am I the
idea
person
where
you
I
love?
would take this $40,000 instead of paying for a wedding and having the best like the best honeymoon you've
He
ever
also
heard
didn't say
of.
no that we didn't made out last episode.
That's true. I didn't say no.
He actually said yes. I was like, did we just make out? He's like, yeah. Anyways. Is that all you got in the wedding? Congratulations to the wedding.
Congratulations. Wedding was dope.
Kind of mad I didn't get the invite, but I understand.
You don't. Yeah. I mean, if you knew that, maybe.
I feel like they should watch the show.
I don't know about that one.
All right. Here we go. Let's get into our next segment.
Next thing we are going to do is we're going to talk about childhood because, childhood's great and it brings back that nostalgia.
This is one of my favorite segments we've done.
I really like this idea. So we're going to be talking about things you would remember if you are a kid in the early 2000s, which we were.
We were.
So just go down memory lane a little bit. Talk about these things.
My girlfriend's always like, when will you mature? I don't know if I'll ever mature.
That's a lot of people.
No, I'm the same fucking
I'm
way.
just like, I'm gonna like chicken nuggets all the time and just do kids shit. I mean, I don't find myself maturing.
You mature, yeah. I mean, you gradually mature in like thought process, but like ways I act in public don't really.
Isn't it
change.
true? Girls mature. Our girls are 2 years more mature than guys.
That's
are.
the idea. So that's why girls go after older guys because the maturity level is supposed to be the same.
Evens out. All right, so the first thing, if you were a kid in the early 2000s, let's reminisce on some memories here. You would have mastered this instrument. And if you're watching on YouTube, you could see that it is Guitar Hero, Paul. Were you a big Guitar Hero guy?
I'm not a huge video game guy, but I remember how much I loved
Guitar Hero was like the shit back in the day. I was very bad at it. Like, I was not a very good Guitar Hero guy. But there was the one song that you would play would be like Slow Ride. I think that was the one song where like everyone knew it was like 3 keys and you could do it. But it was a big deal. Like, if you were good at Guitar Hero in middle school, you were the shit. I remember our friends would like, he memorized the notes, so he would turn around and play it backwards. And
he was
be like,
showboating,
oh, look at this guy. Like, he's playing expert backwards. Like, what are you doing?
People just were insane. I remember going to summer camp and they would just set that thing up.
There was a guy in our middle school. His nickname was Yum Yums. You remember him?
No, I do not. Who is
Guitar
Yum Yums?
Hero legend in our neighborhood? Yum Yums. There was like a gaming place in Kalingos. I don't know. And he would play there. It was like Yum Yums. He was like the main event at this gaming place. Yum Yums.
I wonder if anyone else could tell us if these places existed. Where we had one in our shopping center in our hometown where it was a gaming venue, I guess, where you would go and you would pay per hour. Well, they're making more arcades this way. I talked about like this place I like. It's called Yestercades, where you would go in, you pay like $10 an hour. They have the Xbox, all the games there. They have the PS, 3, 4, 5. Like they have all the old Nintendo, like everything is there for you, and you just pay per hour and can sit there and play, and the TVs are ready to go. So
they should do that with the old games, like
they have
Donkey
those.
Kong,
Yeah.
Pac-Man. That'd be dope.
So I mean, if that's what you were doing on a Friday night, you'd go to the arcade, you'd pay $10 an hour, and you were just showing people up a Guitar Hero.
Well, it wasn't just Guitar Hero. They worked in Rock Band.
Yeah, when you added Rock Band in, you had keyboards and you had the drums, and someone could sing. It was like the singing was the worst though.
Yeah, so bad.
I hated when people were like, "Oh, I'll sing." I'm like, dude, I don't want you singing.
To beat it, you could just hum it. I think that was like a way to beat it because you just had to be on key.
You had to be on key.
You didn't have to say the words.
But people would just scream into the mic, and then based on the line, they were just. I'm like, this is god awful. We need to put you on keys.
Yeah. So that was Guitar Hero. What's the next one?
Something we all did. And I think there's a very similar thing to this as well, is that we all played Club Penguin. Club Penguin was, when you came home after school, you go to your computer, you dial it up a little bit, you go on AIM, you go on Club Penguin, and then when we were getting into middle school, we had like a new class because they put all brand new computers in our middle school, and it was like a computer class. And that was, you were on Pinball, or you were on Club Penguin, or you were on
Addicting Games.
Addicting Games. That's what I was going to say.
That was it.
They were the
then
websites.
they banned Addicting Games.
They banned. Yeah, you couldn't log into it. And then Club Penguin. I remember though that we were older, and nobody played Club Penguin anymore. But I remember when Disney bought it and they were shutting it down, and how devastated people were.
They bought it like in spite to shut it down, right?
They bought it. I think like maybe 3-4 years later. I don't think it was like
It was
immediate.
such a Disney move. Like, let's buy this so that they could stop being our competitor. One game, now you said Addicting Games, I love the helicopter game when you'd have to click the mouse and keep the helicopter up and the green thing. That was one of my favorite games. But Club Penguin, yeah, I was always getting in trouble on Club Penguin, saying things I probably shouldn't say, hosting parties. I like to have the pet. What were those little like Turby
The Puffles.
Puffles?
Yeah.
Yeah, those pets were dope.
I
My
had
pet always
stuffed
died though because I
animals.
always forgot to feed it.
Believe it or not, someone actually rewrote, or I guess got the source code, and they're still hosting Club Penguin just off of Disney's
That's fire.
stuff.
There you go.
He's like going to school. He's like, "Yo, Paul's Igloo's the shit."
Yeah.
Were you at his party last night?
Well, that was the whole thing
But
of
they
like,
would have like games within it.
yeah,
Right?
you could snowboard, you could they had you could scuba dive. There were a bunch of games, and then based on how well you performed in the games, you would get coins, or you were a member. That was the thing where you had to like pay $5-10 a month to be a member, but you could get coins and that kind of
Unlimited.
things, and that's where you could upgrade your outfits. You get your TVs, your couches, all that stuff for your house.
Your
So
disco ball.
it was just like it was a really weird time.
It was like The Sims for kids and penguins.
It was like showing how much clout you had. It's like I'm not a Fortnite guy, but I know that idea where in Grand Theft Auto, same idea where like
We cracked it for
the longer you play, the better you are, and then you accumulate points.
Yeah, but then you
and
get into that
goodies, and-
territory where like you overdo it and then you turn into like the noob.
yeah,
So you don't want to be the noob of club. You want to find that like middle base where it's like you're not new and your shit doesn't suck, but you're not also
yeah,
a
because
noob.
that's not fun. I don't want to be playing the game and everyone's off better than me. That's why I never got into Fortnite. I'm gonna tell you straight up. I remember when Fortnite came out and all my buddies were playing. And were like, "You want to play? You want to learn how to play?" I'm like, "Dude, all of you are already too good at this game that it's not fun for me."
Yeah,
I
I
can't
was
catch up.
I was the same
People
exact
were just
way.
addicted to it, and it was just
Yo,
everywhere.
Can you build, bro? No, I can't actually.
People are like telling me, "Oh, this is what you need to do. You need to map your mouse like this." Like, bro, I don't even know how to play the game just with the regular
Yeah.
keyboard, and you're asking me to put shit on my mouse now?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Ryan, come revive me. What the fuck does that mean? I don't know. All right, next one is so if you were a kid in the 2000s, you would launch yourself into a mini crisis, Paul, when you accidentally open the internet on your cell phone. So like your Envy Touch is what I had because you knew your parents were gonna yell at you because of like data rates. So like you would accidentally hit the online and be like, "Oh shit, my mom's gonna yell at me because we're gonna have to pay for data."
I think that is insane to think about because I remember that too, where you hit the wrong button, all you see is like the thing pops up and you freak the hell out.
Now we freak the hell out if we don't have internet.
Yeah, it's like, oh, too slow. I'm new phone. Got to get a new phone.
I also wasn't allowed to text for my first phone. Like
do you-
in middle school, I would get like it wasn't even a flip. I was like a Razor. That's what I had.
I had the Razor too.
but I wasn't allowed to text. My mom, I would like texting wasn't a part of my plan. So like I would
remember
only use
you
my
could do
phone to
that.
call my mom for a ride. That was it.
Yep.
Couldn't go on the internet. Couldn't text because that was the texting you had to do. Like it's funny because like I don't know, we don't have like an older audience. So I mean like this being old for us is probably really weird for like our parents.
Yeah.
like that age. But like you had to text where you hit one like 3 times just to hit
T9
get a
type-
beat.
T9
Yeah.
texting.
If you wanted to
T9
get
text, that's
if
what
you wanted to get the letter C, you got to go A B C. You got to press the key 3 times. But I remember that too, where my texts were capped. Like I could only send X amount of texts per month. But I remember like, in middle school, right, getting a girlfriend, and it was constantly, bro, like texting back and forth. But I had to pay attention to how many texts were going through, and at the same time,
You gotta be calculated.
yeah, and I remember at the same time too, where my dad, that was at a young age where my dad was like, when I ask you for your phone, you give it to me. So it's like no matter, he's like he will check like who you're calling, who you're
Are you
texting.
for that where parents should be snooping on kids? Like if I'm a parent, I do not want to be looking at my 10 or 12-year-old son's phone. Like I feel like that's wrong.
I feel like the shit that he's probably doing is terrible.
Especially my kid.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't want to see what my 12-year-old's doing. I feel like I'd better off not
Parents
knowing.
do that where like they're like 8, 17 and they're like looking through their messages and
So
shit.
here's a good thing. When I know someone personally, they have their mom is had. Do you ever heard of the? I forget what the app. You probably know what the app is called. What's the app called where the parent like has your location?
Oh, I have that. My mom has my
Is that
location.
like Life 360 or something?
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
that's
that's
what
what
it
it
is. So Life 360. I was shocked when I heard this because, if the person is driving, her mom can see how fast she's going on the highway. So like she could see if the highway's 65 miles an hour. If she's going 85, the mom can see.
My aunt does that.
And literally will text her, be like, "You need to slow down."
My
Like
aunt
that's
does
the
that.
craziest shit in my like what?
My little cousin got in trouble because he was in a car with his friend and his friend was going like
Yeah.
890 on the highway.
She's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like my parents freaked the hell out because because I was an Apple kid growing up. I had all the Apple electronics you
too.
could imagine. And then I switched to Android. And then they realized, no, we can't track you on Find My iPhone. So I'm like, well, maybe we can use like this other thing, like Life 360. And then I realized how fucking insane it is.
It's way worse than Find Your Friends. Like,
Like,
Find Your Friends a location where, you know, if you connect to Wi-Fi, or it's like last location connected. But Life 360 is a whole nother ballgame.
I love the friends that will just randomly, Andrew, stop sharing your location. I'm like, what is this fucker
Dude,
up to?
I remember.
What is he doing that he needs to stop location?
That was a thing in high school where I remember at a point where everyone in the friend group would just share locations.
Yeah.
And then when it was like, you can't be sneaky because we know where you are. Right. And it'd be like, oh, what are you doing Tuesday night? And it'd be like, oh, I can see where you are. But that whole idea where once you would stop sharing a location, it was
suspect.
It was mad sus. Mad
Or like someone would be like, why'd you stop sharing your location with me, Ryan? I'm like, I didn't know I did that.
Yeah, that everyone's like, oh, I didn't know. Okay, reshare it.
Not right now, you know, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
Next one.
We're going to talk about Facebook here because Facebook was, I mean, I loved AIM. I'm not going to lie.
AIM was great. I loved AIM. I wasn't allowed to have a MySpace.
What I really liked about AIM was that, one, I think it's so fun. I remember growing up and everyone was taking, you know, the username, gaining a username was super hard because everyone was, everyone was like XXX.
Yo, try your name is Ryan Smith.
That's true.
You know how many usernames I have to try to get one? Just struggle out here.
Yeah, you have a basic name. But if you do like XXS Love 100 or like my AIM name was X Soccer Freak 08.
Oh, there was always X's.
It was because you had to add all these extra things to it. And I remember growing up, sitting there and be like, yo, our kids are going to be so hard to find a username. Now we're here 10 years later and it's like everyone just uses their name.
I saw a kid that smartly, he must have did this in the beginning of TikTok, like right when TikTok came out, took Temple EDU as a handle.
Let's talk about that.
And he's holding them hostage because he wants free tuition from Temple, and then he'll give the handle username to Temple.
So this is a great story. This is a phenomenal story, and relates very close to me actually because what I do is I'm a social media coordinator for a major university.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I remember talking to the person who left who before me, and she was talking about, hey, like if any new social media platform comes out, or if you're seeing anything that might, you know, do really well in the future, what you should do is automatically try to gain the username for Montclair. Like automatically try to gain it so it's similar to all of our other accounts, because you don't want someone who, you know, just sees it, takes it, and starts a meme account or whatever, and then, you know, it's really hard to try to get that account back or contact Instagram, Facebook, like try to contact those people to report it or gain it for you. It's super, super hard. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, great idea. 2 weeks later, I see this TikTok where the guy's like, yeah, he got the Temple University TikTok account. Temple University is a university here in Philly. And we'll just constantly make posts on it about like, hey, like, yeah, not giving it back until I get free tuition, or like, and he's cursing on it, playing like
and Temple would, I guess they just picked some random like handle, Temple like university,
yeah,
and they'll like comment on it and like they're like playing into it.
That's why, I mean, it's doing so. That's what's crazy about marketing nowadays, where one that would look really bad on Temple, but you know how much free PR that's giving Temple,
True.
And there's nothing bad, or like they're not at fault anyway of the cursing or the bad language or the bad sounds or whatever, because, or anything that he's, you know, up to, because it's not an official account, but it's still giving them all the PR that they need.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow, that's a super funny
but
story.
Facebook, like what was big for us in Facebook, like when Facebook just started, I remember like you joined Facebook for Animal Farm.
Yeah.
You didn't join Facebook to connect with friends. You joined
Facebook
did it
because the app would give you something in return for linking it up.
It was
with
just something
Facebook.
fun. I mean, the poking was insane.
The poke war, yeah. If you thought like girls were attractive, you got into a poke war with them.
That was
like the idea of flirting online.
That was a flirting as a little
What
kid.
the actual fuck?
That's literally what it was. It was like, hey, I'll poke you, and then you would the next day, or you would check and just
It's
see
like
if they
Adriana poked you back. I was like, yeah, what's up?
And then if you want to
But
go,
then you're delaying the poke. You're like, I don't want to
Yes.
poke too early. When's a good time to poke her back?
God, and I think about like, you know, when you leave someone in red, I think that's a bunch of like, you know,
No, dude,
people are going a little bit too
poke.
far with this.
the poking,
Poke?
yeah,
But it gets upsetting when the poke's still there for a couple weeks and you're not getting poked back.
If I checked my Facebook, there's probably a few pokes there. But like,
Do
I
they
would
still
never.
poke?
I'm about to poke you right now.
Oh, that's
Kid show.
not kid show. Yeah.
Well, I actually meant that.
But if you want to go even further with flirting, that what's insane is that everyone would always want to be like, oh, do you want to be my wife on Facebook? Do you want to marry me on Facebook? Like that was
the
thing.
stupid marital status shit.
Yeah,
that was like my thing.
we would be in 6th grade and Ryan would be married to Kristen Oswald.
I was like, no, but I would be married to her and like ask her to marry me on like in music class.
Yes.
And then we would leave music class and I would unmarry her and divorce her. Then I'm free again. I'm in the market. I need a Facebook wife.
And it was just another form of flirting as a middle school, teenager.
Poking and getting Facebook wives or husbands were the thing.
Yeah, it was
Weird thing.
Such a weird time.
Like, oh, I'm looking for a Facebook wife.
I am looking for a wife. Yep.
That's so funny.
And then it would always be interesting to see how long you could keep it. Like how, if your friends, or that's the thing too, like if you weren't flirting with them anymore, or you were like, I don't want to be in a relationship, then you would cut it off and be like, all right, we need to find a new face. You would post to be like, anyone want to be my wife?
I was quick to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Next one is, we just touched on this, keeping up with the generational iPods.
Yeah.
So it is kind of funny. I don't know how fast they evolved, but the first iPod was literally the shuffle.
The shuffle,
You
like
couldn't
this big.
see the screen.
There
You would
wasn't a
literally
screen.
just keep pressing. There wasn't. Oh yeah, you couldn't see the screen.
There was no screen. Yeah.
There was no screen, so you obviously couldn't see it. But you would have to keep skipping it to get to your song. So I remember like memorizing my playlist, and then you would like order your playlist to like, okay, the third song's Cyclone by Baby Bash, or Apple Bottom Jeans, Boots with the Fur. What song was that? I forget.
I think it's like T-Low or something.
No, it was
Oh,
Flow.
Low. Yeah, it was called
Low. Flow.
So you would like memorize your playlist because you couldn't see, and then it evolved to the iPod Nano, which I had.
The iPod Nano, I think, was the first insane thing because it had a screen. I remember having an iPod Nano.
And it was like a touch sensor thing.
Oh yeah, I had one of those. I
Was
loved
it?
that thing.
You can like
Oh,
scroll
well, it was the wheel.
around.
It was the wheel that
Oh,
you
wait,
could scroll.
Mm,
And they came out with all the colors too.
no.
He loves adding.
I'm trying to remember now because the Nano I had was like about this big. It was just.
Oh, that was the clip.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
was after
Yes.
the original though.
Yeah.
That was for working out. That was like the Apple Watch before the Apple Watch.
There were a bunch. Yeah, well, I remember having an iPod Nano and wanting to turn it into an Apple Watch. And that
what
was
does that even mean?
No, because that was before Apple Watches were a thing. Because they had the screen and stuff. They used to, on Amazon, or you can go to like Walmart, you could buy a band and make your own Apple Watch. It would be like a watch, but it would just be your iPod Nano, and it would have like the time on it all the time. Like it wouldn't do anything.
Then you need Wi-Fi. Why would you need a Wi-Fi? I forget. Like you could get Wi-Fi on the iPod Nanos.
No,
you couldn't.
I think you could.
No, because
iPod
you would,
Touch only.
You would download all of your music from your desktop to your.
And the iPod Touches always had the like those commercials with all the colors and shit.
That was it was the big. It was all the colors.
Yeah.
That's what was so appealing about them.
You think that's bad? The third generation Shuffle had no buttons, just a switch, and you'd have to use the little remote on your headset and just know what song you were getting. It was like the first generation of Siri.
That's the thing. There's like 85 iPod shuffles.
Yeah.
Like what shuffle are we talking about?
Can you still buy an iPod?
That's a good question.
Yes, you can. You can
My
buy-
mom keeps all that shit. Like I have like
I have my
10
stuff too.
iPods.
Yeah.
Not like an iPod in the case of like the classic ones with the wheel and shit, but like you can still get a Touch.
Yeah.
With all the new latest.
So if I go to an
gizmos.
Apple store, I can get an iPod Touch.
Yeah, you could get it with like 256 gigs in it. It's like a fully
Of course,
fledged.
you got to break down the gigs. Yeah, I don't know. What was your favorite iPod?
I had this weird iPod. It was called like the Max or something. It was super thick.
Oh, I remember that.
and I
It was
remember
huge.
I remember because I could watch movies and TV shows on them.
I remember that. Ginormous.
It was just like thick. Like it was like
The
a
best
brick.
part is that they would make like those stereo docks.
Oh yeah.
Where you could
iHomes,
plug
baby.
the iHome.
Yes,
you plug
I
the,
have one of those.
You plug the
iHomes.
iPod into the iHome, and it charges it. It plays the music.
I
That was it.
had one with a little remote. I could just change it from wherever I was. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
We
I
had it
remember.
good back in the day. Today's times suck.
Next thing we're doing here.
Trying to poke some bitches.
No. Kid show, bro. That could go a lot of different ways. So when you're in middle school, right? What was the number one song you probably? I mean, the whole idea of middle school, they were just playing line dances. 'cause
Lollipop. I want to lick you like a lollipop.
You ever? No,
It's
but
funny how like we
Yes.
listen to those songs and then
Yes.
later on in life we actually listen to the lyrics. It's like, oh god, we
There's
should have
a-
never been listening to that in 5th grade.
There's a girl on TikTok who will be like, when you realize the lyrics too, and she'll play the song and she'll just like she'll
I
be
lick you
singing.
like a lollipop.
Yeah, she'll just be singing and then her face will go blank and you'll just see like you'll pay attention to the lyrics and just realize that yeah, I was 12 and I was singing this.
Or your mom's always like, Ryan, I don't like this song. Like it's just very like
My
vulgar. I'm like, I like the beat.
Yeah, you weren't
gotta
in
go
it for,
beat.
you weren't in it for the lyrics. I saw something like that recently. It was something on TikTok. Song comes up on the radio. It is Whistle, I believe, by
Yeah.
Florida.
Yep. Great
And
example.
it's just like he's just like, Dad, turn this shit up, and then you realize it's about like someone getting
Yeah.
getting head. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, I did not notice that. I was just like, oh, just a little whistle.
I mean, if you imagine, I was thinking this the other day. I was going through my work in the lobby and I hear Ariana Grande's 3435. And super
69.
popular. Yeah, super popular song. But that song.
Math.
Yeah, good job, Ryan. He goes, 69. Like, what? Like, it's a new discovery for him. But, I mean, that's a super dirty song. But
We're almost
you-
on our
it's
69th
It's
episode.
played in malls and it's played in, everywhere. So.
There's a lot of dirty people
But
out
when you-
there.
Okay, so
A
when
lot
you
of
were,
pokers.
oh my gosh. When you were
Poker face.
yeah, poker, great example, poker face. There
What
you
does
go.
that mean?
Lady Gaga, I was like,
Poker face. You don't know what a poker face is?
It's when you're playing poker and you have a poker face. I don't know what the other term. I swear I don't know what the other term is.
no, that fits into this category of like
Does it
subliminal
poker
messaging.
face?
Here, we can have Professor.
All right. Well, the song Paul's talking about is the cha-cha slide.
Cha Cha Slide. When you were in middle school and they were ready to get all the 10, 11, 12-year-olds up on the dance floor, what were you doing? Cha Cha Slide.
Cha-cha
And you know what
slide.
pissed me off about this song?
What?
The end of the song goes, like, get ready for part 2 or get ready for whatever it is. It's like
It's time for part 2.
Yeah, part 3 coming out next November. And I'm like, it's never came out. Like
It never
why
came out.
Why was that part of the song? That was something I hated too. I used to love Ignition, like the
R.
Nelly
Kelly?
Yeah, R. Kelly remix. It was like Ignition remix. For the longest
Hopping
time,
fresh out the kitchen.
I thought it was a remix of a song.
It's not a
It's not. It's just that's the song. It's called Ignition remix.
I was a big Cotton Eye Joe guy. The best would have been, so you would get the folding chairs, and then when the Cotton Eye Joe or Cha-Cha Slide comes on, you go hit the dance floor. And you
Yes.
do the Cotton Eye Joe, you're sweating your nuts off, and you're dripping all over the place. You got your Hollister shirt on, you're sweating through your Hollister shirt, you're dripping sweat, you got your necklace on.
Yeah.
And then what do you do after the dance, the song ends?
You sit the fuck back down.
No, wrong. You go to the snack stand,
Yeah.
you get a soda, and you chug the soda. It's like you have to hydrate from that dance in the Cotton Eye
That's
Joe,
what
and
it
you
was,
hydrate
yeah.
by chugging sodas at the snack stand. It's like, me and Paul are dying. We're like, oh, let's go to snack and get a soda. And people are just chugging Dr. Peppers at the
Yeah.
snack stand. Dances were funny. They were unique.
yeah,
And
middle
my
school.
girlfriend's 2 years younger than me, and I realized that I was at dances at the same time as her,
Yeah.
but I didn't know her.
You were in 8th grade and she would have been in 6th grade.
Yeah.
when they were doing the middle school.
So it's
dances.
weird that we were at the same places, but I didn't know her back then.
Yeah,
Interesting.
different middle school dances were a different breed.
And we do take those for granted. I don't know how many schools actually have middle school dances. Do a lot of schools have that?
What would we have them like once every 2
Well,
weeks?
it's like
I
you had to
think.
be like a part of like the sporting teams, and you would get to have your special dances. So you had more dances than the usual
That's
8th and
true.
7th graders.
Yeah, if you were involved, you got. I think they did a dance like once a month, and then once a semester they had what was called a super dance, and they had you could play like basketball and dodgeball and stuff like that, and then the athletic groups I remember would have special clicky dances. That the basketball they'd have like what we would call a mixer now in college, where it would be like a sorority and a fraternity,
Right.
where the basketball teams, the girls and boys, would like get together and have a dance.
I love the slow dancing.
So, yeah.
You dance so far away, and then it's like the girl puts
Yeah.
their arms around the head, and the guy's got his hand on the hips, and you just go like that.
Well, we had a
Like
teacher.
this.
We had a teacher in 6th grade that I remember scared the shit out of me. But because I remember we were in 6th grade, and that was the first year you go to the dance, and that he would talk to you and be like, "Hey, like I'm a chaperone. I will be there." And he's like, and then he would pull up his ruler, his like meter stick. He like slam it on the table and be like, "You see this? If I see you on the dance floor and we make eye contact, I'm coming up to you and I will put it in between. You can't be closer than this." And you would just be so scared of him just embarrassing the hell out of you to go
And
up
then
to
like
you. and,
after the guys be like, "Who'd you dance with, Paul? Oh, you dance with 2 chicks, yo? You dance with 2 chicks?
That's the thing too, because people were reckless back then. They were like, oh,
They were poking multiple
yeah,
bitches.
yeah, they really. It'd be like, yo, I dance with Kristen, I dance with Kayla, I dance with Danielle, and you would just go. You'd be like, what?
Why are you dropping actual names?
No, they're just names of people.
No, they're not. They're specific. Why is he acting like they're not
because
the real
I'm just
names?
trying to think of people.
He's like naming the exact girls he danced with at the dance. He's like, oh, they're just random names. No, they're not.
6th grade Paul.
We were friends. We were in the same place. I know they're not random
But that's
names.
what I'm saying. He was dancing with those people. He would dance with those people, and then what we did was those middle school dances.
What kind of numbers were you putting up, Paul? Like 4 chicks a night? All right, let's get to the next one. Next one, switching from the dance floor to the classroom.
These are good. These are good.
You had very early anxiety about the math table tests.
Yeah.
Where like you would put they would get their timetables.
Yeah.
And you'd have it. I think there was like 50 questions. You'd have them upside down, and the teacher would be like, "All right, ready, go. You have 3 minutes or something." And you flip the timetables over, and you have to finish complete all the timetables before the clock runs out.
Yeah,
it was very nerve-wracking.
Those things in math class would determine the strong from the weak. They they were splitting the classroom in half. It was like who can do math and who cannot do
You know
math.
what was fucked about those? You would have to pass your table to your neighbor.
Yeah.
And
They had
they
to
would
grade it.
grade it in front of you. So my buddy's grading my thing. I got 12 wrong. And he's circling 66.
Well, the worst thing in
The
the
best
world
was I would cheat.
why?
My buddy, I'd be like, yo, come on. Like, you change that one, I'll change this one.
Yeah.
Finessing the game. I'm always finessing the
The
game.
worst thing about those were when it was your buddy, or like maybe it wasn't and you don't really know this person at all, where he's the guy who's like raising his hand and goes, well, my guy wrote this. Do we count this? Is this okay? And you would just be staring at him and be like, come on, dude.
This looked like a 1. You know?
Yeah, you sure this is a 7? This looks like a 1. And then you looking at that guy.
You knew who not to give it to grade because
Yeah.
they'd be like the strict one. She was like, oh, she's not grading mine. I mean, maybe I can get a couple more from this kid. The 5s were easy, the 5 timetables.
Well, the whole
The
thing,
9s are easy too because you do the
Yes.
9 trick. I still do that. So 9 times 6,
It's
you got the
terrible.
5 hands, put down the 6th one, 45.
There you go.
9 times 3, 27.
That's ridiculous.
Still
You
do it.
do that.
I would do that
really
during the
works. That's
timetable.
how I,
I mean,
did it.
it works, but those
9
math.
times 9 is 10 is tricky. Oh, wait, that's 90s, hey?
There you go.
It's unbeatable. It's unbreakable.
9 times 9,
9 times 9.
81.
81. See?
Yeah.
Unbreakable.
But those
Can't be wrong.
those sheets in math class, because they were just great. They had addition, and then you would do subtraction
Yeah.
ones, multiplication. The multiplication ones were the best ones, and that was really. But it was nice to gloat because it was like you had a minute or 3 minutes. I think it was 3, and maybe you had 50 questions on that sheet, and it was always between. I was really good at math.
I was good, yeah.
in middle school,
for a record.
and I remember just like there was one girl that was just so good, and I remember just standing like being next to her and just like. They were where I feel like competition.
Yeah, they were
was
100%
really
competition.
hardcore in middle school, where it was just like, okay, like this is it.
And then
This
you
is
had
it.
those people that would get done really quick, and then they'd forcefully turn their paper over so
Flip
they
their-
know everyone's done. Katie, I know you're done. All right, I got
But you
2
got-
more minutes here. Relax.
Show off.
Yeah.
Teacher's pet over there. But those were great. It was funny because teachers teach the same lesson plans to all the classes. So like
Yeah.
when one class is leaving, they'll whisper, "Yo, you got
we
times
got-
table today."
Yeah, there's.
I'm
yeah.
like, "Oh fuck, times table today." I'm sitting there. All right, next one is
We're gonna do. This was more of a like game you would play, I guess. Like we had free time, and wherever we were, we would read, and then we had some extra time, and people would kind of do. But this is even earlier flirting than what we would do on Facebook and social and like AIM and that kind of thing. Where this was the paper, right? We were on paper and we were playing MASH.
MASH.
Do you remember MASH?
What was it again? It was marriage.
It was
Did
like
it-
it was marriage, house.
I don't think it was like a syllable thing. I mean,
No, I'm sure it was. I remember it was. But the idea is that it was a game that you would write on a piece of paper, and the idea was you would somebody would be calculating it, and then write down little questions for you and like little almost like multiple choice, and then based on you would do a circle in the middle, and then they would stop. And you would calculate, and whatever the
Count how
number
many lines.
was like 7. And then you would go through each category, and it would determine your life. So it was even before that too, they had the origami where you would write people's names like, oh, who do you like? And you would write like Tom, Matt,
Kristen.
Yeah. You'd write names
Katie.
on
Who are you gonna poke today?
you'd write those names on the origami.
Kylie.
But this is different.
Just random names.
Yeah. And we'd be in like this piece of paper. And I remember one of the biggest things was that if your crush was doing this, you wanted your name on the marry list, where they'd be like, okay, like, who are you going to marry? We're going to put 4 names on the list.
Well, they weren't random. They were calculated.
Whoever was doing it was making sure, like, oh, her crush is probably on this list. And it would put, like, Matt, Ryan, John, Paul, right? And then all those 4 guys in the room would be watching this whole thing, be like, oh, is Kylie going to marry me? Like, yeah, what's going on right now?
It was like you would do like income. So how much income would you make down the road, or how many cars would you have?
How many cars? Who would you marry? What was your house? Income? It was just like,
but the
life.
main event was the marry.
The
like,
marriage.
Who were you gonna marry? And I acted like it was like destined to happen. The next one is their plates. They're pulling out Zoo Pals for snack. I have no idea why it says that, but they're Zoo Pal plates.
Zoo Pal plates were big because as a kid, even to this day, you're probably this. You don't like your food touching.
Nope.
And
That's why these were clutch.
And that's why Zoo Pals were invented, because it made kids allowed to put their chicken nuggets and then their ketchup.
And you got the barbecue sauce in the panda's ear, which is separated from the nugs. Love it. Like, as soon as I see the what are these things called? The Zoo Pal plates.
Yeah.
I think immediately Dino Nuggets.
Okay.
Put the nuggets on the plate. You got the barbecue sauce in the panda ears. Everything separated. Or if you're eating dinner, you got your corn vegetable separated with your chicken. It's $1 million. Great invention. They're probably
Man, it has a
millionaires.
whole fucking routine.
Can you imagine
down.
that? The people who made these fucking plates with animals on it with 2 ears that have separate sections are now millionaires?
It's the simple shit in life. That's what it is.
Simple shit.
Do you think they still make these?
Yeah. I got a question.
Okay.
Do you think the generic, like the styrofoam plates that have the different sections was made before the Zoo Pals?
That's just a more adult.
So
I
you
think
think-
probably yes.
I would assume that the
Zoo
adult
Pals took
version.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still out there. Okay.
Those plates are probably mad expensive now that I think about it.
Okay, we're gonna talk about some games we're playing in school. This is the hand games. Like what? Like 7-Up? And
Well, 7-Up, that's a great game.
7-Up was a classic
I'm talking
game.
about like, I think it's like handshake game. Like those were big at recess. Girls would just literally go ham on like handshake, like bubble gum. Was that bubble gum 7-Up? I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But I like the direction you're going.
I was thinking of like when you have some extra time in your English class and they're like, hey, we're gonna play 7-Up today. But 7-Up,
That was another flirting game.
dude, it's just
A lot of flirting
a
going
lot
on in
of
middle
flirt.
school.
When you're in middle school, that's all you care about. There's always little things going on about who likes who and what's going on. And 7-Up was a great game
just wanna
where you would put your
bitches.
yeah. You just poke some. That's the episode. Poking bitches.
Poking bitches.
We definitely can't call it that. But you'd put your head
Kiss 'em.
down on. You would put your head down on the desk, and there's like 7 people in the room. I think it was called 7-Up, and you would put your thumb up. And basically, what happened was each player would have to go around the room, sneak around the room, be quiet, be loud, maybe laugh. Like it was all a game. It was all a mind trick. And you would push the person's thumb down. And then you would go up to the front of the room and everyone would open their eyes. And if you chose the person who picked you, you got to swap with them and then play the game continually.
So if someone hit your thumb down, you had to stand up and guess from the 7 people who was the one to
picked
put your
you?
thumb down. Usually the people who had crushes on one another would take each other, like put their thumb down.
Or if I knew, like, if I was up there and my buddy was up there and I knew who he liked, I would always grab her because she would pick him, which would keep me in the game longer. You know what I mean?
And there was always like techniques. I was the very gentle one. Paul was like the hammer fist.
Yes, I was
Very aggressive.
Look at you.
Well, I remember these memories.
Yeah.
7-Up is a good one. But four corners was another game that was fun.
Okay.
Where the person would count in the corner and you would run around in the classroom to one of the 4 corners.
And if they called the number and you were in that corner, you would be out, right?
Yeah, that.
Okay.
That and Silent Ball too.
What's
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
What is
Silent Ball
Silent
was
Ball?
You remember you sit on the desk. Oh,
You
I
would-
think there was like a question that you had to like answer a question correct. I don't remember, but Silent Ball was like you sit on the desk and you throw it to people. But there was like another aspect or element to the game. I
There
just can't
was. And yeah, you would sit on your desk.
remember. Good times. I doubt kids play those games anymore.
No, they definitely they have to because
7-Up.
the teacher has to occupy them somehow with
True.
without some schooling.
True. All right, next one is that in middle school or elementary school, you chose friends based on the mechanical pencil they had.
Okay.
So, like, if the person had a good mechanical pencil, does her homework, does his homework, is a reliable, trustworthy friend.
I could see where I always thought people who had mechanical pencils were smart.
Right.
They were like, oh, mechanical. Oh, yeah, they must really care about school, you know?
Dude, you remember this picture? We have the picture of a mechanical pencil where once the lead runs out, you take the top off and you reach. Oh no, it like pushes down to get the new lead.
Yeah.
And it's like see through.
You would just you would just redo it. Yeah.
This is funny. Or like those pencil covers. What are those gooey things you cover?
Oh yeah, the little grips.
Yeah, the pencil grips. Yeah. I remember those pens where it was like 4 different color pen. So it was like red, blue, purple, green, and like your objective was trying to get all the pens down at the same time. Where like clearly it's not gonna fit.
I feel like you're a big pen guy with like the character on the top with like the spring.
What?
Like there's like a Lilo or Stitch. He's got like
I got one.
Or like a Lilo and Stitch at the top of the pen. I feel like you're one of those guys.
Producer Drew literally just showed I have a pen that has Mickey Mouse's hand on it. So I mean, I guess
that's his pen.
Yeah, that's my pen. So I guess I am a cause of this.
All right, the next one is learning to spell bananas from Gwen Stefani. Paul, I still do this now.
Yeah,
you don't do that now?
I was listening to Fergalicious the other day.
That's another one.
And that's just one of those like, Fergalicious, bananas.
Glamorous.
Glamour, yeah. Those those songs that would spell out the words. I mean, it really helped you as a middle schooler.
Oh, well, dude, one of my favorite artists was Soulja Boy. Yeah. And everyone remembered Kiss Me Through the Phone.
867 899
Kiss me, Oh, I think I fucked it up. But everybody knows that phone number.
Yeah, the same idea.
So I still use Gwen Stefani bananas. So if I have to write down bananas or spell it, it's banana.
Yeah, there you go.
Got it. Next one.
Something that was really popular in middle school was the silly bands. And I remember my dad talking about this when I was older, where it was like stocks. Where like a company like that, like if you had a stock in that company, because it was a public company at the time, where that thing just blew up to astronomical heights. That is the stupid. Okay, we're taking a rubber band, we're gonna mold it into a giraffe. Here's 2 billion of them that just sold. So same idea as the fidget spinner. The fidget spinner happened when we were in college. We weren't even in high school. Like,
what about the tech decks?
Oh, that was a huge
big.
thing.
They had to ban them from school.
They had to ban them.
Banning the fun.
Because
tech decks were dope. You'd always just be playing tech decks.
I remember when people were like, "Oh, we're banning fidget spinners," and I was like, "That's like really stupid." But to think
my cousin was selling and flipping fidget spinners. Did I tell you this?
Dude, people.
There was a fidget spinner market.
He was basically the drug dealer of fidget spinners.
That's what it was. But no, people with tech decks. I can imagine if a teacher now thinks that fidget spinners annoying. Imagine someone with a miniature skateboard on their desk all day long. I was addicted to that. I remember having 1 or 2.
All right, kids, put your tech decks away. We're gonna go over lesson number 5.
I just remember though, this idea where I wasn't really into Pokemon cards.
I wasn't either.
But I remember
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh. You're a Yu-Gi-Oh guy.
You're a Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh guy, And I remember a kid walking into one of my classes one time who was like an expert with the tech deck.
Oh, yeah.
Where he would pull up with a backpack and he would unzip the backpack and he had like 50.
Dude,
just,
they had it where you
go.
could change the tires.
Yep.
Of the tech deck. It's like who had the best
you could
bottom
change
of the
trucks.
board.
You could change everything about it. Yeah, and
wild.
People just learning to do tricks, and you change the grip tape. Well, I saw something. There's a running gag on TikTok or Instagram or on social media in general where it'll just be someone be like, "Oh, what's like the coolest thing about you?" And then the guy will come in with the tech deck and he'll just start doing flips and stuff, and it's just so funny.
You like that shit?
Yeah,
This is an ollie right here.
And we have a few more here, but this, oh my gosh, and I think this, this goes on the lines with iPhones and just how popular it was and fun it was to go to the Apple store as a kid.
Yeah.
Like growing up with Apple, like the Apple stores and learning and trying to like just learn the products as you go there, that the photo booth app on the phone, the laptop was just so popular that every time you would walk into the Apple store, you go to a laptop, open up the photo booth app. You and your best friend would start doing like fun little things and just leave it and say, huh, it'll be there for the next person.
Or you would look to see what iPads have the games downloaded.
Yep.
So they wouldn't have the games already downloaded. They would have people come in, and the other people who come in
Download the
games, or like they'll set the background of the iPad.
That was a thing where
They'll have like Jetpack Joyride on there. I would always go to the photo album, and I would be the one to take a picture and leave it in there. You see all like the pictures of who was there before. I remember one time I was going through a photo album in an Apple store, and I saw someone I knew. I was like, I know that guy.
I liked it too. I would take the photo and then set it as the background. That's what I would
You're that
do.
guy. Speaking of video games, Wii Fit was a way that people would exercise. Like, it was like, are you going to the gym? No, I'm doing Wii Fit. I hated Wii Fit. The reason why I hated Wii Fit is because of how they set it up. And I think we've talked about
You would
this
step on the
show.
scale.
You step on a scale, and then they scale your character based off of your height and weight.
Yeah.
So then my guy would look like a normal generic guy. Then I get on the scale to do my pre-weigh before, like, see how much pounds I lose, and then I turn into a fucking Oompa Loompa.
Did it go to the obese section?
Yeah, it was like the obese bar went out to the top. All right, Paul, you like this next one?
Sniffing scented markers.
I love when I say Paul likes the next one. The first word out of his mouth is
Sniffing. I mean, when you're a kid, that's what most of those markers were. They were all scented. They'd have like strawberry and lemon, and the black one would be disgusting, and like the brown.
Oh, the brown and the black were.
Yeah, or like literally awful. The yellow was always lemon, and like people. That's what got people into sniffing markers, which is a bad thing.
Yeah,
and that's
I was
why they
gonna
probably
say
don't
there
make
was a
them
lot
anymore.
of 11-year-olds getting high in
on
math
markers.
class. I remember one kid in particular would get like 5. I'm like, that kid is jacked up right now.
Yeah.
He is high as a kite right now.
But that was a very popular thing. They probably still make them, but I remember if a scented marker came out, I was
Maybe just like sticking them things up your nose.
I know a while back in the day.
But you just have 2 of them. I feel like I've seen Paul like 2 markers just up his nose. Let's go. Math timetable.
That's where you get. That's where you get pumped. It's like your pre-workout. Like
Who wants to be my Facebook Live today?
you take out your markers to do your timetables for math class. You get pumped up, and then you're ready to destroy.
Ryan,
that
you
test.
ready? Hold up. Let's do it.
You get jacked up.
2 left. This one's a great one. So the picture is when having one of these TVs rolled into your classroom, and it's the TV that's on the stand with wheels.
That was the best day ever. When you walked into a class and you saw that TV in your classroom, you know you were having a good day. Like, you automatically got in a good mood.
It was either you had a substitute teacher, or like the teacher just didn't want to teach today, and it's a movie day.
There's a good John Mulaney joke where he talks about his friend who's a teacher, and they were drinking like on a Wednesday night, and he goes, "She was drinking like an animal." I'm like, "Aren't you a teacher? Don't you have class in the morning?" She goes, "Oh, I'll just show a video." And he's like, "That's why teachers show videos, because they get trashed on the weekdays, and then they pull in this TV." But dude, that was the best feeling.
I remember it was a big deal on who would go get the TV.
Oh, 100%. TVs would be in the library. Dude, I was that guy. I was always that guy where TVs would be in the library and the teacher would be like, "Oh, we need someone to go get the TV."
Like, "Oh,
or the laptops. When they brought the laptop
the
cases
laptop
out
case.
in middle school or even high school, they'd be like, "Oh, someone's got to go get the laptops." And be like, I'll leave. Like, I just want to leave the classroom for even 5 minutes. It was just so much better.
And it was always like a roller coaster of a ride of getting the stand to the classroom.
Well, you would just, whoever you went with, it would usually be you and your buddy, and you would just be fucking around the whole time. Like,
It's
that
like,
was the
where's
whole
Ryan and Paul? They've been going to get that TV for a half hour.
That was the whole point. You would just go fuck around with your buddy.
And you'd be pushing and be like, "Yeah, we're watching a movie today." It's like, "Oh, lucky, Ryan. You get to watch The Lion King today."
Yeah. And last thing, too, if you grew up in the 2000s, you knew that when you were in school on Friday, it was pizza day.
Pizza day.
Always pizza day. Everyone looked forward to it. And looking back, though, it wasn't good pizza. But
Horrible
At the
pizza.
time, though, you thought it was probably great.
Horrible pizza. The thing with this is because they were rectangle pizzas.
Yeah, of course.
And
Because they cook them on a big sheet.
I remember Fridays there would be a race to the front of the line. Like, you
Yes.
had to be in the front of the line. And the reason being, producer Drew.
But both of us, we would always be both of us would be in front of the line.
Yeah, because we would have to race up there.
But do you know why we'd be in the front
Why
of the
would
line?
we be in the front of the line?
Because what type of pizza did you like growing up?
What type of pizza did I like growing up?
When we had a pizza on Friday, we would always run up to the front to get the first couple slices.
Yeah.
Why would we get the first?
Because
slices?
we wanted an end piece.
We wanted an end
You
piece.
needed to get an end piece because the end pieces were easy to hold. They weren't floppy. They were crispy.
They
I
were
remember
crispy.
we would
They
ask,
tasted better. You and I had this relationship with the cafeteria worker where because on Fridays, Ryan and I, we would always be up there front. I think like one of our other buddies, I think Andrew maybe was always up there with us too. But it was like they knew us because we wanted the end pieces. Because as
Well
Ryan
done.
said, they're well done, and you could hold them. They would just taste better.
Because instead you would just have the middle piece and
I didn't
flop
want
in.
no
There's
middle
sauce
piece.
all around there.
It was
It's not a good
awful.
ratio.
It was awful.
Half
Yeah.
the time the cheese wasn't even cooked. But the thing
No.
with the
Wasn't.
the thing with the lunch ladies is that we got to the point where we were in the front line for so much they would put aside our slices.
They would.
And students were getting mad that me and Paul were getting our slices put to the side. They're like, why is that crispy one on the end right there on the side? So
If
that's
you
for
want-
Ryan and Paul.
If you want things in life, you got to create relationships.
That's what it is. Building
And-
relationships is all about who you know.
It's all about who
And
you know.
you get the end piece on a pizza pie.
It really is. Yeah, it really is.
Do you remember the pizza dippers?
Yeah, I wasn't. You liked them.
I
wasn't
like
a fan
them.
of them.
Those were dope. I
You
saw
dip
something on
them
Twitter where it was like a picture of the pizza dippers as like if you know, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't use the sauce. One last thing on the lunch. I just thought of it. Do you remember in middle school we had the chocolate milk in a bag?
Yes.
What?
You
Yeah,
don't remember this, dude? This was. I
I've
think
only ever had it in the carton.
No,
What
this
the
was
fuck
like
is
in
it
a bag.
this was a classic. Like this was elementary school
Elementary
and
school.
middle school, and you'd get milk, chocolate milk, vanilla, like milk, regular milk, whatever. But they would put it in a plastic bag, and then you'd have just like,
Like literally a plastic bag I could like throw in.
like a Ziploc?
no, almost,
Almost,
like
without
very,
the zip.
very similar. And then like a Capri Sun, you would take your straw and stab it, and you'd be good to go.
The amount of chocolate milk explosions at lunch were insane. Like you would
Milk in a
like
bag.
try to like dare someone to explode the milk. It was like it was a skill to put the straw in the milk without spilling it.
yeah.
It was bizarre to think that they sold us or didn't sell us. They gave us milk.
They gave us
chocolate
milk in a bag. That's what
It was
they
like
did.
a hacky sack with milk in it.
Yeah.
Literally, like look. We'll have to look. You will have to look it up. I'll show
We'll
you after
find-
the
we'll-
show.
yeah,
I'm
we'll
gonna put a
find
picture
pictures.
up right here of this bullshit.
Hilarious. And there was a lot of issues because sometimes you'd put the straw in, but it would go through the bottom of the milk. So it would go through the both sides of the bag. And
they
then
were.
there's spillage everywhere.
Yeah. It wasn't the best idea, but
I kind of just want to try it again. I miss it.
it's
Good milk.
It's those little things where you think you're like, oh, I would love to taste that again, but like I don't want that piece of pizza again.
Oh, hell no.
10-year-old Paul would die for that pizza. 24-year-old Paul, not a chance.
Good times. Good times.
That's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for listening to Life's a Party. We had a good week, good weekend, good vibes.
Are you mad at me?
Why?
I later on, like it was like a little late middle school, I dated Kristen for like a couple days.
You did a couple days. Yeah, what, like 2 days? I remember it was a short-lived relationship. We want to talk about relationships. Ryan, it was I'll tell the story.
What's
It was-
this? I don't even know this story.
It was like the last couple days of like 6th grade or something.
Oh.
and we had, or no, 8th grade. We had a pool. We went to the,
Yes.
we had like a swim club in our hometown. We would go to the pool, whatever. Ryan like started dating this girl like 2 days before the last day of school or whatever. Went to the pool party. We were walking back to like my house or our friend's house after the last day of school, after this pool party. As we're walking, you know when like all your friends are walking in a group and then two people kind of have a conversation and then the rest of the group kind of goes forward. This is what happened. I remember the rest of the group walking towards our destination, turning around a block away of Ryan and Kristen just talking, ending their relationship. 2 days in, ending the relationship. You know, it was a hot girl summer and
That was not planned out. The problem is because it was our 8th grade year.
Yeah.
We had 8th grade yearbooks. So all over my 8th grade yearbooks, you and Kristen are so cute. You and Kristen are the best. We dated for 3 days.
That's-
and
yeah.
all over my middle school 8th grade yearbook is just Kristen hearts everywhere.
I would love
Kristen,
to-
if you're watching this, no offense, but I mean, short-lived, and now it's all over my yearbook.
Now, how good of a segment would that be if we brought in old yearbooks and read them?
I thought you
it's-
said bring in like the girl.
No, we should bring in the girls from middle school. No, but bring in those yearbooks. But that's our show.
Wait, what was the segment you were saying?
Oh, we should bring in
the
old
yearbooks
yearbooks
and read them.
them.
Wow, we'll get a lot of Kristen.
We,
tell you that.
but thanks for getting to the end of the show, listening. We guys appreciate you. We're talking. We're gonna give you a little hint here. We're talking about maybe some Christmas merch.
Yeah, we're getting Christmas shirts. Hopefully,
Yeah, we unfortunately there's been a cotton shortage.
dude. I was watching the episode back and I said cotton shortage like 3 times. It's hard 2 words to put together.
It is, and
cotton shortage, like it's difficult.
There's no we can't get custom shirts, and we can't do our big sale. So we decided maybe we do have a cool Christmas logo that we would love to put out on a shirt, kind of a last minute, but we'll do some as a giveaway. So pay attention to our Instagram. On TikTok as well. Make sure you're following us at Life's a Party Pod. We'll do those giveaways there probably at the end of November, maybe first week of December, and we'll have some cool Life's a Party limited edition Christmas merch.
Limited edition, so it's exciting. So we'll give some away. The rest will charge
Pretty dope.
like $2,000 a pop.
Yeah.
Limited edition.
You got to cover for shipping.
Of course.
Shipping, yeah. Because Santa's we got Santa. On speed dial, he's gonna be the one bringing it to you. So yeah, check it out. Give us a like, subscribe. We appreciate you for watching. I put something out on Instagram that we love doing the show. I mean, we put a lot of time and effort into this to entertain people. And we just want to be a positive moment in your life, just maybe an hour of your life, and bring happiness to you. So appreciate it. We love you.
Appreciate you guys as always.
Music, take us out.
Peace, baby.
Later.